After months of being battered by pounding surf, the vessel split in two.
How many ship disasters, aside from the Titanic's unforgettable tragedy, have truly left you stunned? Can you recall any off the top of your head?
The container ship that was blocking the Suez Canal for nearly a week finally made it through. Salvage teams used 11 tugs and 2 powerful sea tugs to pull it out.
Maybe this incident that went super viral might be familiar to you. If not, then maybe you might want to know more.
More than 350 vessels are waiting to pass through the canal. Experts say it will take 3 days to clear this backlog.
So here are some of the biggest ship collisions and mistakes caught on camera. Let's start off with this routine voyage turned maritime nightmare. MV Reena grounding. The tale of the MV Reena is one that began innocently enough, a routine voyage from Napier to the port of Tauranga, New Zealand. But as fate would have it, this journey would take a dramatic turn on October 5th, 2011. Let's try to set the scene. The MV Reena, slicing through the waves at a brisk 17 knots, its hull slicing through the ocean like a knife through butter. But then, disaster strikes. With a deafening crunch, the ship grounds itself on Astrolabe Reef, sending shockwaves rippling through the maritime world. It's a scene straight out of a high-stakes thriller, a vessel laden with over 1,300 containers and 1,733 tons of heavy fuel oil, teetering perilously on the edge of catastrophe. And what unfolds next is nothing short of a nightmare. As the sun sets on that fateful day, New Zealand finds itself grappling with the aftermath of its worst maritime environmental disaster. The pristine waters of Astrolabe Reef, once teeming with life, are now tainted by the toxic sludge of spilled fuel oil. But how did it all go so wrong? Well, here's where the plot thickens. Investigators soon uncover a tangled web of negligence and oversight. It turns out that the master and crew failed to adhere to proper voyage planning, navigation, and watchkeeping practices. And as if that weren't enough, the ship manager's lax oversight of the vessel's safety management system only added fuel to the fire, literally. Amidst the chaos, approximately 200 tons of heavy fuel oil are spilled, staining the ocean's azure waters with a slick, black sheen. And let's not forget the cargo containers lost overboard, adding insult to injury in an already dire situation. But amidst the wreckage, there's a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, humanity's resilience shines through. Over the course of years, dedicated cleanup crews worked tirelessly to restore Astrolabe Reef to its former glory, turning tragedy into triumph one painstaking step at a time. So, as the sun rises on a new day, the MV Reena serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the consequences of negligence and the importance of vigilance in safeguarding our precious marine environments. Now let's set sail with this legendary ocean liner with its colorful past and unexpected fate. SS American Star grounding. So there's this fascinating tale that begins way back in 1940, when the SS America, a majestic ocean liner and cruise ship, emerged from the hands of the renowned American naval architect William Francis Gibbs. Now, this ship didn't just have one identity. It wore many hats over its 54-year journey on the high seas. First, it proudly bore the name SS America, not once, not twice, but 3 times throughout its illustrious career. But wait, that's not all. It also took on roles as the troop transport USS West Point and under various other monikers like SS Australis, Italis, Noga, Alphados, and American Star. Talk about a ship with a colorful resume. Now let's fast forward to January 18th, 1994. Picture this: the once grand SS America, now sailing under the name American Star, finds itself in a bit of a pickle. It runs aground at Playa de Garci on Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. But here's where things take a turn. Instead of a grand, tragic finale, the ship's fate takes a rather unexpected twist. Over the years, the wreck slowly succumbs to the relentless forces of nature, gradually deteriorating until it collapses entirely into the embrace of the sea. Now, here's the kicker. Fast forward to today, and you won't find a trace of the once proud vessel on the ocean's surface. Nope, it's vanished, disappeared without a trace. But hold on to your hats, because there's more to this story. Despite its disappearance from view, the SS America lives on in a rather unconventional form. You see, as of 2022, it's been transformed into something straight out of a maritime fairy tale, an artificial reef. Yes, you heard that right. What was once a symbol of grandeur and luxury now serves as a haven for marine life, teeming with vibrant corals and colorful fish. And so, the tale of the SS America, a ship that weathered storms, changed names, and ultimately found its resting place beneath the waves, continues to captivate imaginations, reminding us that even in the depths of the ocean, there's beauty to be found in the most unexpected of places. Here we'll be meeting two mighty vessels that shook the maritime world with their collision.
The USS John McCain collided with an oil tanker Monday morning. An investigation into the collision is underway.
MV Alnick MC and USS John S McCain collision. Let's dive into the riveting high seas drama of that fateful August day in 2017. At the Middle Channel Passage of the Singapore Strait, where colossal vessels engage in a maritime tango within their designated lanes. But as with any gripping tale, there's a twist. Aboard the U.S. Navy destroyer John S. McCain, chaos ensues as the crew grapples with a perceived loss of steering, threatening to send the ship off course in the expansive Singapore Strait. In the dead of night, the colossal John S. McCain battles to regain control, a mano-a-machine showdown on the open waters. Just when it seems they've seized the reins, plot twist. The destroyer waltzes inadvertently into the path of the Liberian-flagged tanker Alnick MC. Bam! The vessels collide, chaos ensues, metal clashes against metal, and protocols take an unintended detour. Tragedy strikes, 10 sailors meet an untimely end, 48 are left battered, bruised, and the vessel wears scars totaling over $100 million. A collision that sends shockwaves not only through the Navy, but ripples across the entire maritime world. But here's the kicker. Not a scratch on the Alnick MC. It's like a maritime miracle, emerging from this nautical nightmare with a mere $225,000 in damages and not a whisper of pollution marring the pristine waters. Now, let's unravel the mystery. The National Transportation Safety Board steps in, pointing the finger at a lack of effective operational oversight by the U.S. Navy. A classic case of missteps and mismanagement. But it gets more intriguing. The John S. McCain's bridge team loses situational awareness, emergency procedures slip their minds, and they neglect to shout their steering woes to nearby traffic. A maritime courtesy gone astray. And here's the twist. The steering system plays rogue, allowing an unintentional, unilateral transfer of control. It's as if the ship developed a mind of its own, making decisions no soul on board had signed up for. So there you have it, a maritime saga of errors, misjudgments, and a ship's rebellious steering system. The open seas, it appears, are not for the faint-hearted, a lesson etched in the dark waters of the Singapore Strait, where the delicate dance between man and machine takes center stage. Better brace yourself, because this one ship has had a series of quite unfortunate events. MV Tricolor and Kba collision. Remember the notorious mishap involving the MV Tricolor, that colossal cargo ship that found itself in not one, not two, but 3 English Channel collisions in just 2 weeks? Talk about a series of unfortunate events, and it's December 14th, 2002, and it's a foggy morning, and the MV Tricolor is chugging along from Zeebrugge to Southampton, loaded up with nearly 3,000 shiny BMWs, Volvos and Saabs. Suddenly, out of the thick fog emerges the Kba, a Bahamian-flagged container ship from 1982. They collide, leaving the Tricolor stranded on its side in the murky depths, while the Kariba manages to limp away, battered but still afloat. Miraculously, all 24 crew members on board the Tricolor are rescued by the Kariba and another tugboat named Boxer. But alas, nearly 3,000 cars and a cargo of tractors and crane parts meet a watery demise, lost forever in the abyss below. Ronevig, the spokesperson for shipping firm Wilhelmsen Lines, grimly declares the cars are probably lying in pieces down there. Now, here comes the kicker. Despite the English Channel being one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, the wreck of the Tricolor becomes a magnet for disaster. Just 2 days later, the cargo ship Nicola plows into the wreck, followed shortly after by the vessel Vicky, carrying a load of highly flammable gas oil. Clearly, someone missed the memo about avoiding collision courses. Fast forward to January 22, 2003, and tragedy strikes yet again when a salvage tug accidentally knocks a safety valve off the Tricolor, unleashing a massive oil spill. Talk about adding insult to injury. Cue the hero music. Enter the Dutch company Smitty Salvage Company, swooping in to save the day. Over the next year, they painstakingly dismantle the Tricolor section by section like a giant cheese. The hull pieces are carted off to Zeebrugge, and the luxury cars, once gleaming symbols of affluence, meet a rather ignominious end. But the repercussions extend far beyond the bottom line. The environmental toll is staggering, with oil spills coating seabirds and marine life in a toxic sludge. The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds mourns the loss of over 1,000 avian lives, casualties of the Tricolor's oil slick. And so, the saga of the MV Tricolor comes to a close, leaving behind a trail of destruction, both economic and ecological. It's a cautionary tale of the perils of maritime navigation and a stark reminder of the delicate balance between man and nature on the high seas. Now here's something that's going to leave you scratching your head and asking, why?
While he's accused of drunk sailing charges, the captain insisted he drank alcohol after the crash.
Drunk Russian cargo ship. In the world of bizarre maritime mishaps, a Russian cargo ship decided to play a game of bridge roulette in South Korea. This vessel named Sea Grand, helmed by a captain who might have had one too many shots of courage, decided it was time for an unconventional detour. And there it was, captured on video for the world to see, the colossal ship careening into the side of Gwangan Bridge in the bustling port of Busan. But hold on, the plot thickens. The ship, like a capricious renegade, made a swift 180 and sailed off in the opposite direction. A nautical hit and run, if you will. Now, try to put yourself in the shoes of someone driving along that very motorway bridge at around 4:20 p.m. local time on an ordinary Thursday, just minding your own business, contemplating what's for dinner, when suddenly a giant metal leviathan crashes into the bridge like a chaotic scene from a Hollywood blockbuster. But wait, this isn't your typical high-octane action sequence. No explosions, no Michael Bay theatrics. Instead, a casual 5-meter-wide hole is nonchalantly ripped into the lower part of the bridge. A bit anticlimactic, right? No injuries were reported, just a bizarre encounter with a tipsy ship. So here's the kicker. Authorities decided to have a little chat with the crew, and lo and behold, the ship's Russian captain seemed to have had a bit too much party juice. The legal alcohol limit for driving the vessel, you say? Apparently our captain missed the memo. But hey, in the high seas, it's not illegal to crack open a cold one. It's all smooth sailing until you decide to play bumper boats with a bridge, especially when you're allegedly under the influence. Now, rewind a bit. The Sea Grand had docked in Busan at the crack of dawn, unloaded a hefty cargo of iron pipes, and just when you thought its day couldn't get any weirder, it set course for Vladivostok, Russia, loaded with steel coils. Because why not add a dash of steel coils to this seafaring circus? And if that's not enough, rumor has it that before its grand rendezvous with the bridge, the Sea Grand made a pit stop and exchanged pleasantries with a cruise ship moored at the same port. Talk about making an entrance, or in this case, an unintentional collision, twice in a row. Ship happens, they say. Let's join this ship's journey through treacherous waters, which then took a harrowing turn.
USS Fitzgerald. It hit a commercial vessel off the coast of Japan, killing 7 sailors.
USS Fitzgerald collision. So let's set the scene in the vast expanse of the Pacific, waves gently caressing the sides of the USS Fitzgerald, a $1.8 billion destroyer playing hide-and-seek with the secrets of its mission. A clandestine dance through the ocean, veiled in mystery. But oh, how the dance took an unexpected turn on that fateful June 17th, 2017. In a nautical twist of fate, the Fitzgerald found itself entangled in an unwelcome embrace with a Philippine-flagged container ship. Now, this wasn't your run-of-the-mill accidental bump at sea. No, this was a collision that echoed with the magnitude of an underwater thunderclap. Just try to imagine a behemoth cargo ship, more than 3 times the size of the sleek destroyer, plowing into its side. The impact, a cataclysmic meeting of steel titans, left a gash in the Fitzgerald's hull that could rival the grandeur of any blockbuster action scene. And in the relentless force of the ocean, hundreds of tons of water flooded into the heart of the warship. Here's where the story takes a chilling turn, a moment that disrupts the narrative flow. Think about it. The sailors, tucked away in their berthing compartments, blissfully unaware of the impending calamity. Just another day on the high seas, or so they thought. Now let's zoom into the aftermath, a chaotic ballet of emergency responses and desperate attempts to salvage what could be saved. The once covert destroyer found itself thrust into the limelight, the secrecy of its mission overshadowed by the tragedy that unfolded. 7 sailors, brave souls who embarked on a journey with a different ending in mind, tragically met their fate in the watery depths of the USS Fitzgerald. A stark reminder that even the mightiest vessels can succumb to the capricious whims of the ocean. And as the waves settled, leaving behind the wreckage of twisted metal and shattered illusions, the incident etched itself into maritime history, a chilling reminder of the unpredictable dance between man and the sea, where secrets can be swallowed as easily as ships in the night. Costa Concordia disaster. All right, let's dive into the night of January 13th, 2012, when the Costa Concordia, a massive cruise ship carrying over 4,200 souls, embarked on what was supposed to be a leisurely 7-day voyage. The ship was making its way from Civitavecchia, Italy to Savona when it suddenly veered off its intended path near the Isola del Giglio, an island along the Italian coast. It's around 9:45 p.m., just half an hour after the ship made its unplanned detour, when it smashes into a reef known as the Skull Rocks, about 800 meters south of Giglio's harbor entrance. The impact tears a long gash into the ship's hull, causing water to pour in and the vessel to tilt precariously to one side. Chaos ensues as passengers and crew suddenly realize that something has gone horribly wrong. Now here's where it gets even more intriguing. Despite the obvious danger, it takes nearly an hour for an alarm to be raised, and another 10 minutes before the order to evacuate is given. By then, panic has set in, and passengers are scrambling to escape the sinking ship. Some make it to lifeboats, others are airlifted to safety by helicopters, and a brave few even swim to the nearby island. But here's the kicker. While all this chaos is unfolding, the captain of the Costa Concordia, Francesco Schettino, reportedly abandons ship before the evacuation is complete. Can you believe it? The man in charge, leaving his passengers and crew behind in a moment of crisis. Now, let's talk numbers. A total of 33 lives are lost in this tragic accident, including passengers, crew, and even a salvage member. Rescue efforts span several weeks, with divers tirelessly searching the submerged vessel for the missing and recovering bodies. Yet, it's not until November 2014 that the final victim is found. Moving on to May 2017, and justice is finally served. Schettino, the former captain, is sentenced to 16 years in prison for his role in the disaster. But the drama doesn't end there. 5 crew members are also convicted of multiple counts of manslaughter and causing personal injury. As for the ship itself, it lies abandoned on its side for over 2 years before it's finally refloated and towed to Genoa for dismantling. The salvage operation is no small feat, costing a staggering $2 billion, more than 3 times the ship's original building cost. So there you have it, a tale of tragedy, incompetence, and ultimately, justice served. But the memory of the Costa Concordia disaster will linger on as a stark reminder of the consequences of human error and the importance of safety at sea. MS Riverdance Ferry Incident. It's January 31st, 2008, and the Riverdance, a roll-on/roll-off ferry cruising the Irish Sea under Seatrock Ferry's banner, is going about its usual business. Everything seems routine until, out of nowhere, a colossal wave crashes into the vessel, sending shockwaves through its hull. But that's just the beginning of the story. As the mammoth wave hits, it sets off a chain reaction inside the ferry. Cargo, once securely stowed, shifts violently, causing chaos within the ship. Before anyone can react, the Riverdance finds itself grounded, stranded perilously close to the shores of Blackpool near Cleveland's. In the aftermath of the collision, the ferry's cargo spills out, littering the surrounding waters with a treasure trove of goods. It's a sight to behold, as members of the public rush to salvage what they can from the sea of debris. It's like a modern-day maritime scavenger hunt, with everyone vying for their share of the spoils. But as the dust settles, it becomes clear that the Riverdance is in trouble. Attempts to refloat her prove futile, and the decision is made to scrap her right there on the spot. It's a sad end for a vessel that once plied the waters with pride. But sometimes, that's just how the story goes. In the end, the Riverdance's fate serves as a stark reminder of the unforgiving power of the sea. It's a cautionary tale, a testament to the unpredictable nature of maritime travel. But amidst the wreckage, there's also a glimmer of hope, a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit as people come together to salvage what they can from the wreckage. So next time you find yourself sailing the high seas, remember the story of the Riverdance. It's a tale of triumph and tragedy, of loss and resilience. And who knows? You just might find yourself caught up in an adventure of your own, facing the unpredictable forces of the ocean firsthand. Now here's something that not only went viral, but also caused the whole world to stop. Well, for the most part. MV Ever Given Suez Canal blockage. So let's dive into this colossal maritime mishap that had the world holding its breath. It's March 23rd, 2021, and out in the vast expanse of the sea, we've got the Ever Given, a mammoth of a container ship under the helm of the Taiwanese shipping company Evergreen Marine. This behemoth, stretching almost 400 meters in length, is on a journey from the sunny shores of Tanjung Pelepas, Malaysia, to the bustling port city of Rotterdam, the Netherlands. The Ever Given is cruising along the southern end of the Suez Canal, one of the busiest waterways known to humanity. It's like rush hour on a highway, but with ships instead of cars, and no off-ramps in sight. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a swirling dust storm descends upon the canal, reducing visibility faster than you can say, stormy seas. The winds howl, the sands swirl, and amidst this chaos, the Ever Given finds itself in a precarious situation. Navigating through the narrow confines of the canal becomes akin to threading a needle in a hurricane. The ship veers off course, unable to maintain its trajectory, and before you know it, it's stuck. I mean, really stuck. We're talking about the bow wedged into one bank of the canal, while the stern is practically flirting with the other. Now you'd think getting this Leviathan unstuck would be a piece of cake, right? Wrong. Despite the best efforts of salvage crews, the Ever Given remained firmly grounded, like a stubborn toddler refusing to budge from their favorite spot on the playground. Days pass, and the world watches with bated breath as over 200 vessels find themselves in an impromptu maritime traffic jam. It's like rush hour turned into an eternal gridlock with no end in sight. But fear not, for every storm eventually passes. It took 6 long days of tireless effort, but finally, on March 29th, 2021, salvation arrived. The salvage crews worked their magic, and the Ever Given is once again afloat, ready to continue its journey across the high seas. And with that, the world lets out a collective sigh of relief, knowing that order has been restored to one of the busiest shipping lanes on the planet. MV Wakashio oil spill. The captain and first officer of a ship found themselves in some hot water after their vessel ended up on a coral reef in Mauritius. Not exactly smooth sailing, huh? Well, it gets worse. Around 1,000 tons of fuel oil leaked into the ocean, turning Mauritius's crystal-clear waters into a murky mess in July 2020. Fast forward to now, and these 2 seafarers are facing the consequences. The judge threw down the gavel, sentencing them to 20 months behind bars. Ouch. Talk about a serious wake-up call. But here's where it gets interesting. The captain admitted to having a few drinks during a birthday bash on board before the ship went off course. Oops. He even said sorry to the people of Mauritius for the chaos. Meanwhile, the first officer pleaded for mercy, explaining how he hadn't seen his family since getting nabbed. Tough break, buddy. Now, the judge didn't go easy on them, despite their heartfelt pleas. She made it clear, these sentences were no joke, even with their clean records and personal hardships. But there's a silver lining. They've already spent about 16 months behind bars, so there's light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, word has it that the captain might be setting foot on dry land again pretty soon, with the first officer not too far behind. Freedom's just around the corner, boys. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. Mauritius is known for its stunning coral reefs and thriving marine life. The shipwreck wreaked havoc on this precious ecosystem, causing extensive damage to the coral reefs and leaving local fishermen high and dry. Now, the cleanup efforts were no small feat. Thousands of volunteers rolled up their sleeves, working tirelessly to contain the spill and minimize the damage. But the scars left behind are undeniable. Fewer fish in the sea means fewer catches for the fishermen, and that's hitting them where it hurts the most, their livelihoods. There's some good news on the horizon, though. The ship's insurers have agreed to cough up some cash for the affected fishermen, offering them a lifeline in these turbulent times. But as for the lookout officer who missed the memo on safe navigation, well, let's just say he learned his lesson the hard way. Did you like what you just watched? Well, go on and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon for more videos that are certifiably not unmitigated disasters. Again, thanks for watching and see you guys next time.